keeping on the theme of Christmas, we got the finale of Hawkeye, which I was very excited about. 80, have you seen any of the Netflix Marvel shows specifically? Have you seen Daredevil?
I haven't. I started watching it, and then at the time, like as usual, I was watching too many other things, so I thought I would come back to it. And then 50 shows later, I still haven't. But the last Marvel show that I watched was Loki.
Right,
So,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. By the way, guys, we're going to talk a little bit of spoilers for Hawkeye here, so check out the time codes if you don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, the reason I bring this up is like the Netflix shows and their continuity to the Marvel Cinematic Universe is kind of up in the air, much like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was originally meant to be in the same universe, but then now maybe it's not. It's hard to tell. But when you saw Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, I'm just curious, was there any relevance to you seeing him on screen? Because for me, I'm nerding the hell out, but it wasn't much of a grand entrance, so I'm curious to see your reaction.
It was kind of low-key. I know that it's a big deal, especially if you're as hardcore of a fan as you are. All I could think of was the actor, because I'm used to seeing him in his, like
Law
and Order. Yeah. So I just think of him like that. But I don't know. You know what? It was I don't know. I think he did really well with it, but I wasn't freaking out because I don't know as much about the history as you do.
Yeah, like in the comics, Kingpin is like a really important character. He's not like superpowers and stuff, but like, he's big in Spider-Man, big in Daredevil. Was not expecting to see him in Hawkeye. Or even that weird kind of crossover we got with Spider-Man, because we got Daredevil in one scene there. But for me, like, it was kind of interesting because, first of all, he nails the role. He is Kingpin. I've seen many versions of Kingpin and animations and everything, and he is amazing. He's born for this role.
That's so good.
But it's also a little weird because the Netflix show is so much more violent. Like the scene in Daredevil season 1, they spend like 4 episodes talking about him. You see the back of his head. You never really see him. And then when you finally meet him, it's an incredibly violent. He gets like a henchman, puts his head in the car door and just repeatedly slams it.
Yeah.
It is not for kids.
He's a mafia lord, right? Like that's what he's supposed to be like. He's supposed to be incredibly scary and disgustingly violent.
And he is, but no one's talking about this, and I gotta say it, right? I'm gonna come out there with a controversial Marvel opinion. They've dumbed him down in Hawkeye, I feel. Like, yes, he's stronger, he can like punch people through walls, and he's a bit more powerful. But in the one episode we get, he doesn't kill anybody. He gets an explosion to the face. He gets hit by a car. He gets shot with an arrow. He gets shot in the face, which they want you to think he's dead, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back in the Echo
he's
show.
going to be dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently there's a comic where he's shot in the head and he survives, and that will tie into the Echo TV series, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we've waited this whole time to see Kingpin, and when he comes on the screen, he's a punching bag. And I was a little disappointed with that. But besides that, it was great to see him. And I think the finale was pretty great. Sorry, Jesse.
Why was he a punching bag?
He's in one episode, and in the space of one episode, he gets hit by a car, takes an explosion to the face, hit by an arrow, gets shot in the head off screen, and he doesn't, I think, kill a single person.
He doesn't.
He felt like a punching bag, and like I know they're probably trying to be like he's like the Terminator, he can take pain, but for me it's like, bro, don't treat him like this. He's too good of a character to go through this.
I feel like the attitude was there, the physical embodiment, you can feel that people fear him. That was all there, and the actor did a great job. But you are right, because he didn't kill a single person, and that sort of they downplayed him for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to chocolate here. I shouldn't be doing this.
Maybe
Do as I say, guys,
to
not as
keep
I
it. Maybe they did it to keep it like a PG or like a maybe M rating so that it's, accessible to all audiences.
And I had a debate with a friend of mine the other day. He's really looking forward to the Moon Knight show, which is kind of like Marvel's answer to Batman, but more violent, and it's going to star Oscar Isaac. But I said to him, like, look, if Daredevil comes back or Moon Knight or whatever the show, like, remember, if it's going to be set in the MCU, not much swearing, not much blood. Yeah. Expect them to tone it down a little bit. But, you can still have a dark show. You can have fight scenes at nighttime, but tailor your expectations. They want to sell action figures at the end of the day. Yeah. And they want to sell subscriptions at Disney Plus, which is aimed at kids, which isn't a bad thing. You can still do a rating does not mean a good movie. You can have an amazing horror movie that's PG-13. You can have, I was going to say you can have a great kids film that's R-rated, but I don't think that's possible. I'm sure somewhere out there's something.
Wouldn't it be amazing if there was like adult cuts of all of the toned down Marvel movies? That would be pretty amazing. Like, I would eat those up.
Yeah. Look, I think there's probably something out there. I remember the old Daredevil movie had an extended cut, but it's like, just remember, Venom was meant to be R. And that is
really
not much. Yeah, the first Venom, there was a lot of talk on the internet, and we had producers saying we're going for an R rating, and then they really flipped. One day, their attitude completely flipped. I think it was due to probably a conversation with Disney or something. But all of a sudden, Venom was not a horror movie anymore. I was saying Venom's going to be scary and stuff, and then it ended up being like, Let There Be Carnage. It's basically a comedy. Comedy, depending on your
Eddie doesn't want to be friends.
Yeah. So, some people really love that movie, so I'm trying to actively not talk too much trash on that. Because I feel bad. I feel like I've ripped on it a bit too much.
No. Fuck it.
It's pretty bad. Look, there's another movie I saw very recently, which I'll rip on today. Get ready for the reviews today, guys. It's going to be brutal. But look, Hawkeye, I thought it was really cool to see the new trick arrows. I thought that was really fun.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
That was like a jaw-dropping. I loved that. Every time they pulled one out, I was like, what's going to happen?
Did you I know it was a while since we've seen it now, but do you have a favorite arrow you can think of?
Ray, what was your favorite? You say yours first.
One of them I think was the airbag. Probably because it's made me think of Bad Neighbors, the Zac Efron.
That scene. Oh my god.
That was a couple of fun. I think the reveal of the new suit, the Hawkeye suit, was cool. I feel like the poster spoiled it a little bit.
It sort of did. You're expecting it to almost like happen at some point, but it was really cute when he wore it.
Yeah, I have one little observation. Like, I love what Yelena was done with those few episodes she was in, but it felt weird seeing Jeremy Renner, who's probably close to 50, fighting a 25-year-old to the death. I know she's a deadly assassin, but it just feels a bit weird. Like, he spent the whole show hanging out with this 25-year-old. He's fighting this other girl in her early 20s, and it's like,
this is strange.
It would have been better if I would have rather see him fight like Kingpin or something. But
that would have been very cool.
That would have been cool. But look, it is what it is. Overall, I really like the Hawkeye show. It's I don't think it's anyone's favorite Marvel show yet, but it was fun. I had a good time.
I really enjoyed it. I would probably watch it again, and I'm hoping that there'll be maybe even another 2 seasons. I think would be nice, like a nice wholesome amount to delve into Kate Bishop and that entire section of Marvel. I really liked it. So
yeah. I'm curious to see what they do next with Clint as a character, because he, like, it felt like they wrapped put a little bow on his story, but he's still around. You can still do stuff. I did find the more I watched the show, the more Hawkeye grew on me as a character. But I still feel like, no offense to Jeremy Renner, Jesse gave me a good tongue lashing a few episodes ago for besmirching his name. But look, I think it's not his fault. I feel like his character is just, I feel like they've never really known what to do with him. But I feel like they knew exactly what to do with Kate Bishop. So if they use her moving forward, I think there's a lot of potential. Any last thoughts on Hawkeye before we wrap this up and we move on?
I'd probably just on that last point, I feel like she had infinite layers to herself and her story, and he didn't. So for him emotionally, it felt very surface level. Like he didn't have to go hard really much at all, at least emotionally. But it didn't detract from me liking him more at the end of it. So
yeah, I think they did. I'm glad you actually had a conversation with Elena about Black Widow at the end. I feel like, again, like all things with that show, I feel like they could always go like a little bit deeper, but I got enough to be happy with it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.